Oh, we have leaders.
Keith Wilson is in the lead. Gonzalez is second. Rubio third. We'll keep working on this.
All right, we're going to keep looking. It looks like 19 rounds, too. With
And of course, very, very, very early in these rounds.
Right, but I think that this is the snapshot because remember, the computer runs them all immediately. So if we look through this is not the graph I was trying to find to show you because it's a little bit more complicated, but you can see from the bottom as people are starting to be voted out and the votes are shifting, it's this, you know, these plus and the greens, and when it all shakes out.
So it's already been 19 rounds there?
Yes.
18?
Yep, It's already done for the night.
Yeah, that's done.
Wow. It shows, if we come back to the other side 6%. Here, live TV, folks, isn't this fun? But what I told you right off the bat there it was, Keith Wilson on this first snapshot. Now remember, there's still several days of votes to still come in, but Keith Wilson does have the lead. Renee Gonzalez, number 2, Carmen Rubio, number 3, Mingus Maps, number 4, Leave Ostos is number 5, and then it drops off down from there. So I think that's super interesting.
So
okay, we're going to definitely put it into more digestible form as the night goes on. We're actually, full transparency for everyone watching with the ranked choice voting. Again, this is just coming in once tonight. We actually have to manually input this data into graphics that you can see. So once that happens, we'll be able to bring it up and you'll see the pictures with the votes and the differences as usual.
But those are the only numbers, Pat, that we'll get tonight when it comes to the mayor.
That's my
We won't get anything else until tomorrow.
Correct. All the rounds now have been run on this very first snapshot. Tomorrow, they'll all be run all over again.
And again, I'm just looking at it here. Keith Wilson leading on night 1 with 63% to Carmen Rubio 37%. That's what it's showing on this end.
Right.
That's a giant gap between number 1 and number 2. And one of the things, you know, we've been talking about, Pat and panel here, is will this change on night 2? Will it change on night 3? I don't know with what is that, a 25% gap between the leading and second candidate with half the votes counted, which is what we think we're seeing here, whether that's enough for somebody to come up and sneak in from behind. But it's really interesting. I just want to talk about Keith Wilson a little bit here because, you know, he's the CEO of a trucking company, a freight company, sort of an outsider in a way, the one who doesn't have political experience.
He really surged in the last weeks.
Exactly. And again, we're saying currently leading. This is subject to change again tomorrow and the day after. But Congressman, getting your thoughts on Keith Wilson leading for Portland mayor.
Well, it speaks to the characteristics of ranked choice voting. Keith had a consistent theme that he advanced.
Homelessness. That's literally all he talked about.
He had his
plan.
He
has a solution.
He traveled the country looking at these things. He was very consistent, and he was everywhere. And he did it in a way I don't think turned off people. I think it was more inclusive. And that's going to be the key here with ranked choice voting. And it's going to come down to who's the second and third choice for a number of these votes.
Well, I got confused because I thought, Pat, you said that Renee Gonzalez was second, but when you were looking at that, you said Carmen Rubio.
He's looking at the more complicated spreadsheet, and I'm looking at the summary, and I think in the effort to go through all of those numbers, and they're not stacked in order of 1, 2, 3, right? We talked about this. So Carmen is below Renee on the list, but she's coming in 2, so there's a little bit confusion as we try and sort through that.